In the lying club on the second floor, the hateful Xia Higuan only killed me. Originally a small win of 700,000, but now a loss of 500,000. I decided to change the channel, and the number of people in the hall gradually increased. Originally, only one of the 6 gaming tables was in operation, but now they are all in operation. I circled the field and found several good roads, but it was already over, and entering at this time was tantamount to suicide. There is a table of guests who have won a lot of money, and the chips on their desks are piled high. Although they didn't know each other, the thrill of winning money still made each other involuntarily high-five in celebration. I returned to my table again. Sister Zhao had already given orders, and the river officer started another game. Going out of the same hall, others won money and I lost money. The feeling of contrast instantly enveloped me. For me, who is extremely confident, this is tantamount to murdering someone. The beautiful girl Xiao Higuan actually flew out of a duel. It was too early to say that it was a duel because he only showed up with 3 banker coins. But it is also at this time that every gambler's ability to seize opportunities is tested. There is no way out, and a long queue may gradually disappear in front of your eyes. At this time, you can only have firm belief, follow your heart, and fight fearlessly. Maybe you will become a long queue that everyone envies. I signaled the river officer to pause and slapped 6 chips with a face value of 100,000 heavily on the banker. If this mouthful is given to me, I will use my old tricks again, and the price of each mouthful is 100,000, and I will be the first to win, or even the road will completely explode. I can't say that this style of play is my own originality, but I'm afraid it's very rare to have the courage to make such a radical soft charge. Dare to lose but dare not win is the weakness of most gamblers. The purpose of such gamblers coming to Macau is to lose money, there is no other explanation. As for why the first recommendation is 600,000, it is purely a matter of luck. I hope to successfully complete this round of challenges according to my own mentality and strategy. Pai opened the village camp, and Sister Zhao and his main force shouted in unison, "That's great." After the river official paid the compensation, I picked up the 7 chips and pushed the money without thinking. The new department and tactical memory are determined, and the rest is to execute it to the letter. The 3 of them stared at the official as he dealt the cards. The cards were flying at his fingertips, like a beautiful dance. The 3 people who seemed calm on the surface were in a state of turmoil inside. Whether a real one-on-one long queue can be formed is very critical. It would be normal for this to be challenged by 7, 8, or even a dozen people from behind. If this happens, it will be over immediately. Amidst the bursts of shouts, I sent out a red robe with 3 points and a red robe with 5 or 8 points. The 3 of them looked at the river official proudly, waiting for him to open his deck and then pay us obediently. The deck opened up 7 plus 29 points, like a thunderbolt. The 3 people were stunned for an instant. Especially my heart felt like a grave. Higuan's slightly contemptuous smile made me instantly feel that not all kindness is wrapped in the beautiful body. The battle to patch the sky encountered stubborn resistance. If we didn't quickly adjust our mentality and reformulate countermeasures, the next step might be a devil's feast. Less than an hour after the game started, 600,000 yuan had already been sold, and I had an ominous premonition in my heart. This premonition has many striking similarities with the previous 2 disastrous defeats. Sister Zhao and his assistant had already stood up to say goodbye. Perhaps he couldn't bear to look at my miserable defeat. Before leaving, he said, "Brother, the road is not good, that's all. Don't insist on hiring this useful old girl to talk." Looking at their leaving figures, I felt an inexplicable feeling of emptiness in my heart. Although I don't really like Sister Zhao from the bottom of my heart, I still admire his dedicated attitude. Most of the time, he is hands-on and considers everything. Although from a business management perspective, it is not worth following. Learning to employ people and being good at employing people are the basic qualities of every good manager, but it is understandable that a single woman sitting in such a large side business would not easily trust others. Higuan was flying his cards carelessly, and he had just wiped out 700,000 of me. He seemed like a normal person, and he was used to the ups and downs at the poker table. I have become so numb to those colorful Hong Kong dollars and plastic cards of various denominations that I have no feeling at all. In his eyes, whether greedy gamblers have good character or not, all gamblers are the same, there is no difference. His duty is to capture them all under orders and then personally send them to a road of no return. Poor and pathetic gamblers, they often dismiss them with a frivolous tone, completely ignoring the tragic role of oneself as a swordsman and another as a fish. Immediately, Xia Higuan flew out of the 2-bedroom and 1 living room. 2 piles and 1 string have come out, 2 groups. This is my favorite path and I have won big money on this path before. I quickly signaled the river officer to pause, and conveniently pushed the 500,000 yuan onto the card. I opened the pile of 3 bows and clicked the strings. I greeted them casually, and the 3 of them met in public. I was so angry that I crumpled the 3 cards into a ball and threw them on the table. He Guan glanced at me in surprise, then picked up the crumpled playing cards, smoothed them out one by one, and said contemptuously, "Boss, please calm down, you should be mentally prepared for gambling." The implication is that if you can't afford to gamble, don't gamble. I wanted to have a seizure, but I held it back. What's the point of arguing with a girl in a movie? After all, I'm not calm enough or a gentleman enough. If we really make a fuss, I'm afraid we'll even humiliate ourselves. I calmed down, tried to calm down my emotions, and then said with a smile, "I'm sorry, the squad leader scared you. I'm a little excited, please continue playing cards." Maybe it was my friendly attitude that touched him. He Guan said while flying cards, "It's nothing, boss, I have been working here for more than a year, and I have seen all kinds of customers, and there are many more outrageous customers than this." Then he glanced at the piles of chips on the table and asked with a serious face, "I really don't understand, you big bosses are so rich, why do you still have to suffer this fate?" "Yeah, why? Let's live a peaceful and comfortable life, but I have to come here to make myself so miserable." I have asked this question to others more than once. But the answers I got always made me unable to agree. Some say it is for the pursuit of sensory stimulation. Some say it is to enrich the dimension of life. Others say that they can't help themselves. Have to fight. And based on my own experience and feelings, summarize it in 2 words. That's greed. Greed is the weakness of human nature. Makes people extremely interesting weaknesses. Those high-sounding reasons. It's nothing more than an excuse for greed. Maybe God really wants to destroy me in the next few bites. It's just eating there. There is no room to look back at all. Halfway through, I returned my chips to protect my capital. Then it plummeted again. At the end of 3 games, all the chips on the table were lost and returned to the room. The whole person has become weak and weak. This trip to Macau resulted in a total of more than 13 million yuan being dispersed. The bad omen before leaving finally came true, and the company's profit of 13 million yuan in 2 years was finally fulfilled. In this way, I gave it to the Macau casino within 2 days. Regret and regret. Heartbroken. I wish I could slap myself in the face a few times. Why lie on bed? Don't want to move at all. I didn't eat dinner, but I'm not hungry at all. No lights on. The room is dark. Only the little lights outside the window shine slantingly in front of the window. Macau is a beautiful city. At this moment, in my mind, he is a cannibal. A giant demon that doesn't spit out bones. He uses testing human nature as a means. Attracting countless gamblers like me. Use all the wealth accumulated throughout your life. Coming like moths to the flame for destruction. Who invented betting on this and getting thousands of dollars? He actually seeks wealth by challenging the weaknesses of human nature. It's so wicked. I received a call from the marketing director in the afternoon. Explain. The company has 0 liquidity on its books for advertising expenditures. Because I was placing bets at the time. I didn't talk to him much. Just tell him that advertising must not be stopped. The required advertising fees will be transferred to the company's account before 5 o'clock. I originally wanted to win hundreds of thousands. Call back first for emergency. But I didn't expect it would be like this. It's about 9 o'clock in the evening now. You can imagine that the marketing director is waiting anxiously. The embarrassing situation where I don't dare to call to urge you. I'm such a bastard. He actually lied in front of his subordinates. Macau 100 stores. I sighed helplessly. Now I still have 5 million in my card. Should I go home or fight to the death? This is the problem I have to face. Go home. The company's crisis may be temporarily alleviated. But at the same time, the 13 million people who entered the water this time can only accept their fate. Fight to the death. It is possible that the whole army will be annihilated. But it's also possible that there's always a bright future. This multiple choice question is really too difficult. Rolling around in bed. Tossing around until midnight. No sleepiness either. There is still no answer to this multiple choice question.